Well, welcome back to another episode here on the Inkwell Lounge. I'm your host, Chris, aka Questing for Lore, and in this week's episode, I got to sit down with the winner of the Enchanted Citrus Clash this past weekend in San Diego, Alvin, aka Lorgains. We chatted some about his experiences at the event, how he prepped for it, his deck, of course, and what it was like to go home with the win. Let's get to it. Well, hey, Alvin, how's it going?
Chris, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Glad to have you back on the show. It's been forever, it seems like. I don't even
It's been a few
remember
months.
when the last one was.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we are the week after the Enchanted Citrus Clash, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second because you came out on top, and so that's one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you today. So. But first, I want you to kind of just give a real brief introduction of yourself, where you're from, how long you've been playing Lorcana, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, my name is Alvin, also known as Lorgains. I'm a content creator and a big fan of Lorcana, obviously. But I'm from LA, so I'm based out of LA, and I've been playing Lorcana since set one. Believe it or not, Amber Steel was my first deck, and I've been playing it ever since. Believe it or not, even the last few sets when it wasn't good, before Angel, before Akud, I was still playing it, and I took it to a DLC. I didn't do great, but I still took it because it's it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's interesting to it seems like there's always, if it's not like a dominant deck, the Amber Steel, there's always at least one viable deck, it seems like, for every single set. Now it may not be crashing the meta or anything like that, but
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been in such a good constant, and there's just so many good cards. And your deck from the Enchanted Citrus Clash definitely proves that with the Infinity format. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so to start off with real quick, so I kind of alluded to it. You took first at the Enchanted Citrus Clash. I'm just going to call it the ECC from now on.
ECC, there you go. That works.
That's a really big mouthful.
It
So,
is, man. It is.
So yeah, so how does it feel to have won such a big tournament and and gotten your qualifier, for the big show, I guess?
It still feels great. Hard to believe, but it feels good. People are still reaching out, and I get to still talk about it while it's fresh. Like, I get to talk about it with you, and it's still fresh in my memory. So this is good. Like, maybe in the future I can go back and rewatch this interview and kind of like replay the whole weekend, because I'm sure in a few months it's going to be like just haze, right? It's going to be just haze.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that I get to do this with you, right? And talk about it in more details.
Yeah, I love hearing about this stuff because, we have DLCs, and there are only the 3 of them this time around here in the US. But there are all these other events out there, and there's so many different kind of experiences of all these other events versus the DLC experience. It's always really cool to not only, get to talk to somebody who did so well in it, but also just somebody who went and just kind of get a feel for what it's like. So kind of give me a little bit of a feel for the vibe of the event, what it was like. And I know you were, hardcore into the competitive side, so that was the blinders for you. But outside of that, kind of what was the event like?
The event, I do have to say, the event was phenomenal. It was so well organized. It was smooth. They had some of the world's best casters. They had some of the world's best judges. The judge team was amazing. Of course, Judge Phil was at the top, and all the best players too. We had really, really, really good players. Winners like Ed, Sky, Tiago, winners of previous DLCs like what's his name, Molstar, and the previous winner of this area from Los Angeles, ICQ or CCQ, Donald. So there was a lot of top tier players, very well organized. I think my favorite thing about the event was the timing. Like, after all the rounds were over, it was still early. Like, it was still early enough for us to leave and like get food, chill, eat, go to bed at a decent time. and then wake up at a good time to go at it again the next day. But I really want this to happen again. So whatever it takes, if we need to do something to make this happen again, like I would love for this to come back and have another opportunity to go to this type of tournament. And the vibes were just off the hook. Everyone was having a good time. The side events were really cool too. They had artists and all that stuff. So it felt like a mini DLC.
Yep. Yep. Do you remember? I forget the numbers on how many people competed.
Yeah, I think it was 2 something.
I probably find it, but it was like
What?
Sorry,
Something. 300?
Okay.
No, maybe. I don't.
That's still a pretty good
remember.
size, pretty good player size. So
It was, yeah, it was big. It was there were a lot of players. Then towards the end of the rounds, of course, a lot of people dropped, so it started to feel a little tighter, a little smaller, until the next day, because people wanted to do side events for core, right? There was another event going on Sunday, the core 3K, which a lot of people that dropped wanted to hop in and participate in that. So there was a second opportunity for people to come back, which I think was also really cool.
yeah, no, that's a great idea, and I like that it was a different format too. Just to kind of keep things a little different, and they could have easily just as easily done Infinity, but then it's kind of like people potentially playing the same decks that they played on the competitive side, so it's just the same games over and over. I don't know,
and I feel like people love Constructed more, just because it's been more of a continuous thing, right? People have been on Constructed back to back to back, set after set after set, and then boom, all of a sudden, we're doing Infinity, so it's unknown territory, but it's super comfortable to go back to your constructed deck and not have to deal with green steel discard. Just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, those days. Don't remember them fondly.
Yeah.
So how did you feel kind of going into the event? Were you pretty confident in your deck choice? Were you a little worried that maybe you'd made the wrong choice about it? Or how did you feel?
So I had been practicing. 2 of my other teammates have been practicing Amber Steel Song or Amber Steel Aggro. We were all on Aggro, and we were practicing it for weeks, and it was doing pretty good. It was doing okay. And then maybe like a week before, I decided to drop the Aggro. It was boring. It was honestly really boring to me. And
put them out and turn them. Put them out and turn them.
Yeah. Like it does save a lot of energy, a lot of time. But it just wasn't fun for me. And there were so many games on the draw where it just felt like unwinnable, right? It was just like, I just can't win on the draw. I can't fight back because most of my guys are requesting for a lot, but they don't really challenge. So I decided to switch out to Amber Steel. And it was this deck, the Princess deck, I had played previously. I played it in Core and I played it in Infinity. So with the power of Amber Steel Songs, the power of Akud, it was just so much better. It was just so much better. And with the test after testing, it felt great. I felt comfortable with the deck. So I felt pretty comfortable going into the event, except when I started seeing all the big players. I said, this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy, but you know what? I have a game plan. I'm going to go in it. I feel fresh. I feel good. I have a game plan after every round and went at it, and it just felt smooth. The whole event felt smooth after every single round.
Nice. And so what was the point, or was there a point where you were like, I could actually do this? Was it like in that last game, or was it before the last game, seeing what his deck list was? Or
so after round, I won round 1, 2-0. I lost round 2, 1-2. And I think at that point, I made sure to clear it out. I didn't want to carry it with me. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to weigh on it. I just did my same old thing routine after every round. I went outside. I tailgated with my wife, and we had lawn chairs. So I just hung out, chilled out, had some snacks because we had a bunch of food with us, had a snack, did my breathing exercises, and I went back in it with like blank slate, not dreading on it, not talking to my teammates about how it went or where I messed up. And I think after that win, after my loss, I felt super confident. And my wife even said, you had a lot of confidence today. You were just locked in on your game plan. You were just making it happen. I didn't really misplay. I felt like I didn't misplay because I was just really, really mindful. I was very, very mindful every single round. And I just took every round as it came. And yeah, after day one, coming into day two, I also felt really good after my first win in my day two, 7th round. I said, this is a good day. This is going to be a really good day. The deck feels solid. It feels strong. Like I feel really good mentally too. And yeah, like round after round, I had tough opponents. I had to get through Molstar. I had to get through Tiago. I had to get through, 16, a red blue deck. I had to get through the winner of CCQ Las Vegas, Donald, which is an amazing. I mean, they were all amazing players, but it was quite the mountain that I had to climb. And yeah, we got there.
Nice. Yeah, I love hearing when I talk to people about kind of their between round ritual kind of things. I've talked to some people that, like you, they go outside, they take their mind off it, they don't focus on it, they don't dwell on it. But then other people are like, okay, now I have to like replay the whole thing in my head so that my next round, if that comes up, then I need, I know how to respond to that kind of thing.
Yeah. Everyone has their thing. Everyone has their routine. But yeah, for me, it's like, just forget about the last round, worry about the next one.
Take them as they come, right?
Yeah. What's do you have like a preference of what to do in between rounds?
Usually it involves like, putting on headphones, kind of going away from people, not necessarily out of the room, just kind of a spot that's a little more secluded. And just like looking on social media, because especially it's so much harder if it's a loss, right? Because you don't want to like, dwell on it too much and then go into the next round feeling crappy about your game or, your play and everything. So same kind of thing,
it's a good distraction.
Just taking your mind off of it, distracting a little bit.
Distracting, which is great. It gets the job done.
Well, and especially at like DLCs and larger events, you can look on, Twitter, X, whatever it's called now. Or Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. And you can see other people posting from the event, and seeing what they're doing and seeing how the community is enjoying the event and everything. That's a nice distraction while you're still kind of focused in on being there and being present, but it's not the same perspective, I guess, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's definitely less mentally stimulating than being in everything, right? Because don't get me wrong, I love to talk to people. I love hanging out. I love taking pictures and like signing mats and stuff. But I do like to take at least some time in between the rounds to just chill out, mellow out, and get ready for the next round.
Yep. That mental reset. Yep. I totally get it. So I'm curious, out of all your rounds that led up to, I guess, well, either day, really. I was going to say day one, but I guess either day it would be interesting. What was your toughest matchup? Do you remember?
Yeah. It had to be the matchup that I lost. So it was two different ones for two different reasons. The matchup that I lost, the deck I faced was an Amber Steel, and it was unique. It was very unique. They had the, of course, like the Cinderella. They had the Ariel 3-cost that finds you a song, but they were also playing Nani, the 3. You know what I'm talking about? The Nani 3-cost that looks at top 4, grabs a character. Yeah. Character Ariel. Yeah. So she looks for a character, and they were also playing Chief, the 4-cost Chief Bodyguard, 5/5. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, do you know what format we're in? And he was also playing like the Stitch. He was on the Dock. So it really threw me off. It 100% threw me off.
Yeah, that's a weird deck. That's interesting.
And he's like crushed me game 1 and game 3. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't stand a chance. It was crazy. The game that I beat him, I like barely beat him. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
this guy's gonna do really well, and he did. He did do well day one. I think he made it into day two, but he didn't make top 16.
Hmm.
But he was a great player, really nice guy. So that
Cool.
was definitely a tough matchup just because it felt super unwinnable. And the other tough matchup was against Molstar. The other
Okay.
tough matchup was against Molstar. He's the winner of DLC Melbourne and this last DLC Melbourne. And he's a dogs player. Like he won with dogs at that tournament.
Hmm.
So he brought him back. And I was on the play and I lost game one. So I was starting to feel it. I was starting to feel
Yeah.
it, the pressure. I was like, I just lost game one. Like, and I was on the play. So I have to win on the draw now, which sounds terrible against dogs, but I have to
Yeah.
win on the draw now. And the way he beat me is I missed I mulliganed my whole hand because I didn't have a one or a two cost. So I mulliganed my whole
Ooh,
hand away.
ouch.
I didn't find a
Yeah.
one cost. I didn't find a two cost. My three cost was a freaking, what was it? It was a bad three cost. It was an error. Actually, it's not that bad, but it was an aerial three cost that found me a song. But he had three ladies that he played, the 0-3, right? That quest for three if she has three
Mm-hmm.
strength. He went lady on one, double lady on two, and then he managed to play a fort and some other character to just boost their ladies, and they were just questing for 9.
Oh,
And I
that's
was like, "There's no way.
rough.
I was like,
Oh
there's no
my
way. I can't get
gosh.
over this." So
Yeah.
I was like, "It's going to be an uphill battle." But game 2 and 3, I crushed it. It just went really well. I saw my openers. I saw my songs. I found my Cinderella shift early, and she just started putting in work,
Yeah.
challenging stuff, shooting stuff down with songs, challenging stuff with her because she can challenge ready characters. So she was just banish, banish, banish. And their board got smaller and smaller. And then, the smaller board they have, the worse the deck is, right? Because
Hmm.
they need a bunch of characters. They need a wide board. They need to play big tramp. They need a buff enough characters to buff tramp, 2-drop tramp to buff up another. It just panned out so well for me game 2 and 3 that I felt really good. I felt really good about that. So
Nice.
um, I didn't know he was a DLC Melbourne winner until later.
You're
I
like,
heard the name. I was
oh,
like, why does his name sound so familiar? But till after I found out he was a DLC, I was like, it makes sense. He was
yeah.
on another level. Yeah, I could just see it with his plays, the patience, and it helps when they're patient because you mirror their patience. You know how
Hmm.
some fast players play pa, 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 really fast, and you try to keep up with their pace.
Yep.
You don't have to, but naturally you try to like mirror the behavior and try to go fast. That's also something I had to learn the hard way. Not this tournament, but previously, to slow down, take your time, play on your terms,
Mhm.
not on their pacing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's huge. It's so easy, especially in these high pressure situations.
Mm-hmm.
I did the competitive stuff way back in Atlanta, and ever
Yeah.
since then, it's been more of like side event stuff. But there's still a little
Mm.
bit of that pressure, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy that they're like, calling a judge and saying he's playing too slow, or or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, you don't want to be that guy, and so you feel that pressure to kind of keep up, and
Mm-hmm.
and then it starts like mounting in your mind of, oh crap,
Mm-hmm.
am I going to make a mistake, and
Yeah.
what would I do if I put down the wrong, there's just all sorts of things that can go on. And so I'm
Yeah.
curious, like, whenever you're in a situation like that where it's like, you
Mm-hmm.
feel that pressure and stuff, like, what do you mentally do something? Do you just like,
Mm-hmm.
take a breath and breathe and relax,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
what's your plan
I
there?
have a game plan. I have a game plan, and I always rehearse the game plan in my mind before going into a round. So whenever that happens, and they call it tilt, right? Like getting
Mm-hmm.
tilted.
Yep.
That's when you start to lose yourself. You start to lose your concentration, your mindfulness. I feel the ground. I feel the ground. I feel my feet.
Hmm.
Ground myself. Like, okay, I can feel my feet. and then I practice my box breathing. Are you familiar with box breathing?
I can't say I am. No.
So box breathing it applies to any type of athlete, right? If it's like chess, trading card games, physical sports, whatever. Box breathing is scientifically proven to reduce your cortisol, lower your heart rate, and it is a breathing pattern. You inhale for 4, you exhale, or you inhale for 4, you hold it for 4, you exhale for a count of 4, and then you hold it for a count of 4. So it creates a box,
Huh.
right?
Okay.
4 of everything. You do one round, it's gonna lower your cortisol, it's gonna lower your heart rate by a bit. Ideally, you want to do it after your round, before your round starts, for a full minute to get the most benefits from it. But if you're in your game and you're losing it and you're getting tilted, do it. Try to remember to do it. Feel the ground. Do the box breathing, and that'll like bring you back down. So that's been something I try to do as much as I can. And thankfully, I didn't have to do it in between matches or during my matches. It was always before or after. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good at least. I mean, I could see that being like, because then you're like, okay, I need to do this thing to like settle down and get my focus back and everything. But then you're like, you've got that pressure again of, oh crap, do I have the time to be able to do that? Even just once. It's like, that's a tough choice. But well, cool. So I'm curious, when you made it to the finals, you got to that last game there. Where was your head at? What were you thinking about? What were were you running through your play lines in your head? Were you ready?
Yeah. So going into finals, I was ready. As soon as I found out Donald won, he's already qualified. So I get the pass down. He passes down, regardless of the outcome. I get to go to nationals because he already has it. So he's going to pass it down to me. As soon as we found out he won, we lost it. Like my wife lost it. All of my teammates lost it. They're like, yeah, he's getting that. He's going to nationals. So I was de-stressed. I was happy. I was going into this really, really calm. And this was the most low pressure match I've ever had at a tournament, because it mattered, but it didn't matter as much because I was there to get my nationals invite.
Fair enough.
And I had already gotten it, thanks to Donald being an awesome player. But going into it, I felt good. I felt calm. We sat down and we're playing for the trophy, for the clout. And we decided to split the money. So there was really no pressure, right?
Yeah.
We decided to split, and then we just shook on it and gave everyone a finals match.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like the ideal situation, where it's like it's not a huge amount of pressure because of the the extenuating circumstances, but you still have a little bit of hey, I do still want to win, of course, but yeah. Well, okay, so we've talked about it. I want to get into the deck that you've played here.
That's so cool. Wait, that's awesome. How did you just do that? I could see it. All right.
Thank you, Riverside.
Love it.
Not a product placement, but I do have to say I'm really enjoying the platform.
Here we go, everyone.
So anyway, you played the Amber Steel Princesses. This is a great deck. It's it's like a greatest hits kind of thing. You start looking back through this, it's like, oh yeah, the Beast. Oh yeah, Rapunzel. You like remember all these fond memories of playing these cards. But yeah, go ahead, kind of walk us through the deck. Walk us through some of your choices here. A lot of these, like I said, are pretty standard Steel Song kind of inclusions. But anything interesting, anything a little spicy? I noticed there's the one of down there at the end. I'm curious. What was your thought behind building this out?
So I decided to go Know a Whole New World. Why? Because it is such a liability, especially right now. It is such a liability. Plus, Honey World onto a dog's deck is not good. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're on the draw, on the play. Besides, they can snipe your song with Ursula's, maybe Mowgli, if you don't have any other songs. So I decided to go no Honey World. My draw engines were the Beast, the Aerial Forecast, the Rapunzel, and Beyond the Horizon
Yeah.
kind of served as a draw engine. I liked it more as a disruption, for my
Mm.
opponent. But the reason why I chose to go with this deck is because I kind of like theme. I like themes decks. I like to play fun stuff. I like to play jank. And my last victorious deck was a top 16 Seattle with Mufasa. That was when everyone was playing songs, and it was only songs. And I decided to go all characters, but we were playing the one drop Cinderella with 3 strength and 3 storm. So we weren't playing
Mm.
that many
Hmm.
songs just because we want Mufasa to hit a character. But anyways,
Right.
that was the first time, Amber Steel, that I had seen Amber Steel songs play more like a tempo style characters, value off the
Hmm.
characters. But so having that said, in that deck, I played Beast, and I also played the Cinderella Stout-Hearted. And I said, I
Hmm.
need to play those characters in the deck. They're so good. And we happen to have this amazing card called Akud.
Yep.
Akud is a monster of a card. Akud won me games, like hands down, 100%. Being able to get characters out, like your Beast on turn 3, your Namari on turn 3, Cinderella Stout-Hearted on turn 3, is a game changer. Now, the other ramp in the deck, kind of like ramp, is the Aurora, because Aurora
Mm-hmm.
quests, and you can play a princess queen for 1 cost less. So the ability to play out your aerial 3 costs on turn 2, your ethereal voice on turn 3, Namari on turn 4, and then I always saved her quest for a character that mattered. Like
Yep.
if I have something to play on turn 2, I wait until I want to quest and maybe play aerial ethereal voice or play a Namari just for a lot more value, or maybe a Cinderella Stout-Hearted just for way more value. So I saved the Aurora until she was necessary, but she came in so clutch. Being able to play your
Hmm.
characters 1 turn earlier is very, very strong in Lorcana. That's why ramp is so popular, right? That's why ramp,
Yep.
makes some decks go, nuts. So Aurora was one of the characters that made a lot of sense, or like was like in the spicy area. Namari was also spicy. Her
Yeah.
ability to draw and discard, fix your hand. She's like kind of like extra copies of Beast. You can play her out on turn 4 with Aurora, but she can get very, very big. She makes some strength gains. So she is the
Hmm.
definition. She is the definition of like a gains card. Her getting super big was able to take down manors, was able to take down locations, take down a 7 cost tramp with their 6 willpower and a fort in play. Like, this deck struggles against characters with high willpower, but Namari shuts that down. She says, no,
Yep.
no, we're not going to struggle. And she's very good on the draw. If you're on the draw discard, you can fight board. Like, Beast is great if you're on the play. You can draw some cards. If you can get out on turn 3, fantastic. But if you can't, then Namari can handle it. Just her getting
Yep.
big, challenging. The other 2 MVP cards in the deck were Bare Necessities. I can count the number of games that Bare Necessities literally won me, because
Such
it
a great
disrupts
card.
the opponent's game plan.
Hmm.
Be prep. You take a look at your opponent's hand. You can play around their hand. You can kind of map out what they're going to do and counter it. Ton of value. Plus, if you
Yep.
have Ethereal Voice in play, draws you a card. This can also take the opposing sail so that they don't have ramp unless they're playing Tipo or they have Tipo in hand. Now, the Horizon, I like 1. I like 1
Yeah.
because
Okay.
if you see 2, it feels terrible because it takes up one slot in your hand, and
Yep.
every slot matters in your hand. Like every single card in your hand matters, and if it's taken up by two horizons, then it just feels terrible. Two kind of clunky uninkables, and it's not as easy to play out as a dock, right? Like dock is if you have
Mhm.
two docks, you can at least be like, I'll just dock, right? Horizon
Yeah.
requires more structuring, more planning, but it is a heck of a card because not only does it give you cards, it also disrupts the opponent, which is what mostly happened in my games, like against the red blue, discarded two of their sharks, two B preds and something else. That was 5 cards down to 3, and you ruined their mulligan. Against the green steel
Yeah.
finals match, game 3, we had he had 5 cards in hand. It's turn 3. I have a Storm, a Rapunzel, Aurora. I ink Rapunzel. I play the Aurora. I play the top deck Beyond the Horizon with my 2 singers because I had Ursula and Cinderella. I discard a
Okay.
Storm and draw 3 cards. He discards 5 cards, which were Ursula 2 costs that discards a card, Ursula
Oh,
3 costs
nice.
that sings twice, Strength, Sun and Chill, all to the discard.
Oh,
So,
that's rough. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And I know for a fact his game plan was going to be play Ursula 2 drop, discard my last Storm, then play
Mhm.
his Ursula 3 cost. So that way he can sing and just destroy my game plan. Yeah. So that panned out really well. And those are some of like the spicy
Yeah.
cards that I loved and did so much work.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, and you got the requisite Pete in there, of course. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a pretty much
The
a
staple.
given in any kind of amber steel deck these days.
Yeah. Pete and
But
Infinity is
yeah,
very, very good.
yeah. It's okay. So I do want to ask. So what was the feel playing Infinity versus playing like a normal core constructed kind of event? Was it more that there was more unexpected possibilities of what people would be playing, or was it still
Mhm.
kind of like a standard, these are the good Infinity decks that you would see a lot of, or was it
Mhm.
just that you had no idea what you would see?
So my thought was like, we're going to see dogs. We're going to see red, blue, ruby, amethyst, amber, steel, and everything else, might come up.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much what happened. Like the only outliers I saw were ruby, amber, aggro, hyper aggro, green, blue items, green, yellow discard. Those were the only 3 and then green steel discard at the finals. I was just expecting the big decks, and um, I feel like the power of this amber steel deck just felt unfair compared to core. It does some crazy things. Cinderella
Yeah.
turn 1 can sing Storm, a could. It just felt the whole deck just felt unfair. And I'm not used to that in core because core feels a little more balanced, right? Core feels a
Right.
little more balanced because there is no Rapunzel, there is no Beast, no Storm, no Cinderella, no Thunderbolt. Deals 5 damage versus
Yep.
4 is big because an opposing willpower character under a fort can get banished by a Zeus, but it can't get banished by a Thunderbolt because the Thunderbolt deals 4 damage. It boosts a deity by 2, but that like never comes up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the power scale was way different. Just decks do way more unfair things, and I feel like that was like the biggest difference.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's interesting to me. I've thought about trying to play some on the Infinity
Mm-hmm.
side, but
Yeah,
it's enough for me to play constructed to, I'm still working on
definitely.
that
You have
side.
to
But
choose one. Yeah.
yeah. And it's interesting to see kind of the mixed reception that things have gotten from people. I know there's a lot of people that were traditionally more, well known for core constructed play,
Mm-hmm.
that went to either this event or another Infinity event, or looking forward to Indy, kind of doing their practicing and everything for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like they don't get the same vibe off of it as they do like core constructed. You
Yeah.
know, I could definitely get the perspective, right? It's a different kind of gameplay. It's definitely I mean, I guess it's still similar, but with it being so wide open, you kind of, I don't know. What's your perspective on it?
Yeah. It definitely feels like if you didn't enjoy playing against Amber Steel songs back in the day when it was core, like it was
Hmm.
everyone was playing it. If you didn't enjoy playing against a Red Blue or Ruby Amethyst or Discard, like
Yeah.
it's you're gonna face it in Infinity, and if you didn't enjoy those formats, then you're not gonna enjoy it because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Dogs, you can't even get away from dogs because they're in both formats. But
Yeah.
yeah, in that case, you're screwed. Now they have Chernobog, in that case, you're screwed. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
um,
true.
yeah,
Oh,
Chernobog, which I didn't see.
I
I didn't see
forgot
at all.
about
I
that.
don't. I think.
Really?
I
Huh.
don't think most players were playing it green yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder why. I think
Interesting.
he's cool. I think he's over. He's strong. He's like quest for 399 or something.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah. That's and it's one thing to like look at like what's available, post rotation and everything,
Mm,
and have that small set of cards. But it absolutely blows my mind the people that are like, yeah, I'm just going to make a deck from all of the possible cards, well, almost all possible cards, but
yeah.
but to have the full sets of everything to be able to put these decks together, it's mind blowing to me because there's just so many possibilities. But
Mm,
like you're saying, it's interesting that it's still kind of the same, good decks that have kind of evolved through the different metas. It's just like yours, Amber Steel Song has just kind of shifted as it's gone along and like
hmm
taking out one here and putting one in, and
Yeah. It's like the staples just remain, but you move. It's the singers and the strong songs, like the core songs, right? It's
yeah,
just like no whole new world. Let's bring in
yeah,
Beast, maybe Beast and whole. Like the core stays the same. It's just some of these
hmm,
cards kind of get rotated out and in, depending on the meta, depending on where you feel like if whole new world is good in the meta. It used to be great. It used to be a phenomenal card, but I don't know. I can't really pinpoint why it's not that good, and why it felt like such a brick lately. Maybe just the opposing decks. Just it feels bad to play it against them. And if you're on the draw, it also feels bad. You lose your singer, it feels bad because now you can't even play it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those cards that a lot of people used to fear, but now it's not doing enough.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's always interesting to see as the sets kind of evolve and the new stuff comes out. You always get those cards that are like, it's like this card but better, for this particular situation or something.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
talking about. There's like all sorts of them that kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Infinity, you have to figure out, am I going to play the old one? Does it make more sense? Because it's never the same cost. It might be inkable versus uninkable, and there's just so many
Definitely.
possible trade-offs. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a little crazy to me. But
There's so many
so
possibilities in Infinity.
I'm
Just so
curious.
many.
I mean, right. I'm curious with your current deck. Now that you've gone through the entire ECC and taken that top place, is there anything you would change about this deck?
Um, Believe it or not, this is the question I get asked the most about the deck.
I
Or
believe
like,
it. I mean,
you did
honestly.
12 rounds. What would you change? I'm like, I
Hmm.
wish I knew, man. Like, I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I knew exactly what to switch out and be like, 100% this card.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no idea. The deck just did amazing, and I wish I had room for a fourth Zeus, but it's like, what do I take out? I don't want to take out something
Yeah.
uninkable. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just maybe take out the Horizon fourth Zeus, but the Horizon just came in clutch so many times. One feels perfect. Maybe we play 61 cards, 60. 2 cards because you can find stuff with Ariel, right? You can find
Mm-hmm.
stuff with Ariel, but it decreases your consistency by just a teeny tiny bit if you go to 61 cards, 62. It's very small, but it can
Yeah.
matter, right? The percentage
Oh yeah.
difference. It's a tiny percentage, but it can matter. I did want to do 62 cards, but then I said, let's just keep it at 60. I only have 60 sleeves with me right here, so I'm just gonna roll with that.
That's
But
a good
I would
sign
keep
from
it.
the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would keep
Yeah.
as is. I was keep as is. Every
Okay.
card felt perfect. Every card perfect. The 2 extra
Nice.
Troubadour did come in clutch. Like he came in
Yeah.
clutch. Just the extra Singer 4 was fantastic. I used to have Smee in that slot, and I
Okay.
said Smee's not doing enough. Let's get some more
Yeah.
singers in here. Let's get some more singers, and yeah, Troubadour just knocked it out of the park.
Well, and to have that resist so early on is super nice too. You can get those songs
Yeah.
out pretty easily with Singer 4. Who doesn't like that on turn 2? But
Oh yeah, and like when he challenges too, it's like he doesn't take any damage when it's a small one
yep.
strength character, right? Like he can keep taking hits
Yep.
by the little green steel guys. But yeah,
Yeah, I used to love the we all called it Sticky Mickey. The steel Mickey with
yes,
resist. Yeah. That was a fun
1
one to have. You
cost.
get a couple of those out there
Yeah,
and just start beating against those little ones. Yeah.
they were
Same.
so annoying. You can't storm them because they just survive, and it just feels like a waste. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was a fun card. Oh. Let's see. So yeah, I was definitely really interested in that Namari, but you kind of already covered that one. Did you
Yeah.
find the big Cinderella being useful? I mean, as far, besides her ability and everything, but
Yeah, yeah, she was amazing. She was amazing. She was amazing. Um, Turns where I just play her out early, and there were times where I just didn't care about their board because she's questing for
mm-hmm.
3. So I'm just questing
Yep.
for 3, questing for 3. Let have them deal with it. And
Mm-hmm.
there were situations where she was just challenging song challenge ready character, song challenge ready character. It just depended on the matchup. Against dogs, you definitely want to challenge the ready characters. Against like a control deck, like a blue deck, where not even a Maui can take her down.
Mm-hmm.
You just quest, and you wait till the B prep turn, and then you bare necessities them, which happened a lot of times, where we
Yeah.
just do our thing. You see them ramping really aggressively with
Mm-hmm.
their how far I'll go. Is that the one that gives you a card, ramps a card? Yeah. Yeah, you see
I
them
think so.
ramping
Yeah.
aggressively, and you're like, I know what you're trying to do, bro. You're trying to get to 7. You're trying to get to 7 ink. You're trying to board wipe
Yep.
me. But then it's like, I'll either Pete if I want to keep questing, or I'll bear necessities just to check out their hand. It's just game over once you snipe the
Yep.
B prep. Uh, yeah. But yeah, Cinderella's great. Cinderella's so good.
Nice. Nice. And I'm sure it was nice to have that Rapunzel back too. That's such a great card. I missed that
Oh
one.
my goodness. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah, Rapunzel was insane. A really cool thing to do. One of the most insane plays is like a turn 2, turn 1 singer. Well, turn 2, if you have a singer on board, you sing a Cood, you play out Namari or Beast. Doesn't matter which one, while you have a
Mm-hmm.
Rapunzel in hand, because they are going to want to challenge the singer that's exerted. And then they're not going to do it if they respect Rapunzel. But if they don't respect Rapunzel and they just want to get your 1-drop Cindy out of there, they're going to challenge it. And then usually, for the most part, whatever character is challenging my singer is not enough to trade with my Beast or Namari, because their strength is usually like 3 or 4. You challenge, you Rapunzel, and not only are you drawing the 1 card per turn for Beast, you're also drawing 2 maybe more, 2 more cards from Rapunzel, and you're just, you just drew 4 cards. Like, who
I
needs
mean,
whole new world? when you have Beast Rapunzel or Namari Rapunzel. But yeah, that is Rapunzel's just insane, and she's a singer,
Yeah.
and she's a 1/5.
Yep.
Like Quest for Two,
Getting
like
better.
what? Yeah, right now we have Ohana, which is an action,
Mhm.
and like compare that to Rapunzel. There's no comparing. Like Rapunzel's
No.
just
No.
leagues above that card.
Yep. Maybe she'll get a reprint one day.
Oh
Fingers
my
crossed.
god, people would
We'll
lose
see.
it. I would
Can you
lose it.
imagine?
I'd be so happy.
I think there's a couple of cards there like that. There's always been, like you said, those staples. That kind of has stuck
Yeah.
around. And I know a lot of people are happy to be able to play them in Infinity. So that they're not just like, well, now I have all these old cards and old decks that are useless or
Yeah.
mostly pointless. But
I do like that, right, Chris? Like it's cool that we get to play Infinity decks. Like we get
Yeah.
to dust off our old cards that we thought were worthless. We get to play them again.
Yep. And it's funny, you see like some of these decks, they'll introduce these new, like interesting combos between newer cards, cards from the last 2 or 3 sets, and ones that came from first chapter or, Floodborn or something like that. And it's like, you come up with these new kind of combos that are interesting versus just, rehashing the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
I'll be interested to look at some of the other lists. I kind of got a chance to glance through them, some of the other lists at the event. But was there anything that like really surprised you, or was it? I know you said it was kind of a lot of the same kind of things you were expecting, but was there any random spice card that you were like, one of those, hey, can I read that real quick?
Yeah,
kind of situations.
So there was this player around 4 that was playing hyper aggro. So it was purple yellow, and two cards. So they're playing purple yellow, and they played this location. That says you may move a character here that's exerted to gain 1 lore.
Oh,
so
yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a 7 willpower location. I think it costs 3 or 2 maybe. But they play the location. I have singers. Like I can't challenge a location. I have like Troubadour and Cinderella and Ursula. Like they only challenge for 1. But I he played location. Then he played dash. So I'm trying to like deal with his characters that are questing, and this darn location's over here just gaining lore. And then he plays dash, exerts him, gains 2 lore, moves to location, gains 1 lore. I'm like, oh my god,
that's fun. That's
how do I do
cool.
it? Yeah, I ended up playing a Namari, and that was enough to take down the location. But that was pretty cool. And I also did see a green Merida. Emerald Merida.
Oh,
she's a 3/5, 5 cost. They were playing the shift target, which is a 2 cost, and with ward, 2/3 with ward, and they were playing the Merida, which they did play out. She's a 3/5 that says, while Merida is exerted, whenever your opponent's characters challenge your characters, they take 1 damage. So they take 1 damage before they challenge. So say they're a 1 willpower. No matter who they challenge, if they're 1 willpower, they're going to take the 1 damage and get banished. So I thought that was really cool tech. Yeah. I remember glancing over her, but very spicy stuff. So
cool. Yeah, I would think that would be like one of the most fun parts about Infinity is to come up with those combos, and because it's nothing more satisfying that when you build something into a deck and it's like, this may or may not happen, but I'm trying to increase the likelihood of it. And then it fires and you're just like, it did the thing.
Yeah, worth it. I am 5 and what is it? 0-5, but I popped up the combos.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
all that
right?
matters. Yeah.
It's like that one time. It's validation. Yeah. No. So, okay. So let me stop this here. So I'm curious, we kind of talked a little bit about your process, your mental process during the event, and kind of before the event, how you approached it. So now that the event is done, and you're looking forward to nationals.
Hmm.
Um, what is there anything shifting mentally for you to say, okay, I need to get better at this, or this is my new focus for, I'm going to build a new deck for, for nationals or whatever.
Mm.
Or are there any other events that you're going to be playing in coming up that might be more local kind of thing?
National, besides set champs,
Yeah.
nationals is the big one that's coming up, and that's going to be post rotation, correct? No,
Yes,
August,
I think. Let's see. It's end of August.
end of
So I
August.
kind
Yeah.
of forget when rotation hits, but I don't remember the release date for Vine, but
I don't know, actually. I don't know, but maybe,
seems like something I should
maybe.
know, but
Yeah, me too. But it seems like it's far away, but it's going to pop up out of nowhere.
yeah.
So that is the biggest thing that I have to train for, and going into the prep for it, I do want to experiment with different decks.
Hmm.
I want to keep playing the deck that I have the most reps with, which is the Amber Steel core and Ruby Amber core. So those are two decks that I
Okay.
have the most experience with. Everything else, it's I don't know. I haven't really been someone that looks at the best deck and decides to play the exact copy of the best deck or whatever somebody won a tournament with, right?
Hmm.
Always like to add my own, I guess, personality, my own spice to the deck. Amber Steel's always been one of my babies and one of my favorite color combos. So maybe we run that. Maybe we go Ruby Amber and try out some new stuff. But there's still time to like figure out what to buckle down on. I haven't touched core at all because it's been Infinity
Okay.
this whole past few weeks. So I'm excited to start dabbling with it a little bit. I feel like everyone's already tried out the different colors of the rainbow, but I'm here late to the party. Like, all right, guys, everyone's like all tired because they've been playing. They've been playing all the decks, and I'm like, all right, guys, what's good? What's a good deck? what are we
Yeah.
playing? You know, yeah.
Well, is there anything, I guess, anything in, in the last set or two that kind of has caught your eye that you're kind of thinking about?
Yeah. So people are saying Buzz Lightyear is broken. You know, Buzz Lightyear, the shift.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. And they're also saying the Milo Thatch is really good too. That's going to be a green blue deck. So I don't know. Maybe we go green blue, maybe green yellow, and try to accood our way into a Buzz Lightyear. But yeah, it's an interesting. It's so interesting because I didn't think Buzz was going to be good, but apparently he's great. He's a very good card. Maybe we'll bring back
Yeah.
World's Greatest Criminal Mind to deal with the opposing Buzz. Whatever the top deck is, I want to build to beat it. Like I want to beat the top
Yeah.
deck. I want to be able to just go in there and feel super confident, super comfortable. I need to find one of my teammates and be like, hey, you're gonna play the best deck, all right? And we're gonna play nonstop.
Go,
They're like,
go at it.
I don't
Let's
even.
go. Come on.
They're like, I don't even own any cards for green blue. Like we, it's like, go buy them, come back,
Yeah.
and let's play. No, but honestly, I'm glad we have a way to play on. We have online platforms to be able to play test, even if we don't have the cards. So that's gonna be interesting to get back in it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's, and in this latest set has really introduced some interesting mechanics and some interesting cards, and
Yeah.
they're leaning pretty heavy into like some of the, the synergies and stuff, and it's cool that they're not just like, it's not just a set and then it has certain things that, like a certain number of evasive characters or a certain number, there's like, well, yeah, we'll give you all these evasives, but we're also going to give you this thing called alert, that's been in there for a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
it's good to see, how they progress these things over time. And, and there's some really interesting stuff in this latest set. So,
I mean, we got a bunch of toys. We got
yeah.
some really cool stuff like the like now it matters how many cards enter your discard for an
Yeah,
ability to
yeah,
the trigger. Yeah, my least favorite but favorite card this set was Leviathan because
hmm,
he's freaking huge and he
yeah,
banishes a whole board usually. And I hate that that card comes down, like ruins your day. But it's so cool because he quests per 3 and he's huge.
yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that I think is really interesting. That Lorcana is just introducing new ways to trigger cards, right? Like you have to,
Hmm.
in order to for this to happen, this has to happen. But it's a very good ability, like that baby, the new baby, right?
Oh yeah, the
Uh,
baby head. Yeah.
the other baby, Jack
Oh,
Jack, the Jack
oh,
Jack
Jack
Par.
Jack. I
Yeah,
was gonna
Jack
say.
Jack Par says, yeah, baby head's also really good in toys.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Jack Jack Par says, uh, he's a forecast at the start of your turn. You mill the top card, and if it's a character, you get +2 strength. If it's an action, you get an extra 2 lore on him. And if it's a location, you banish whatever you want, any character
Hmm.
you want. It's super cool. That's a really
Yeah,
cool mechanic. It reminds me of my Mufasa and Simba Whisper.
yeah,
Robin
yeah,
Hood, right? Just high rolls.
yeah,
It's a high roll and pretty cool. Love that. Love that mechanic. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they really nailed it with that card with the multiple potential outcomes, based on Jack
Oh
Jack and
yeah.
his multiple
On his
power,
personality.
yeah. I
Yeah.
love that stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. So freaking cool. I love when they do that, right? Like with Merida, the the arrows, the bone arrows, and deals
Hmm.
damage, and her ability like allows you to deal extra damage. Super cool. Yeah, it's super,
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah. And then the three arrows as well, where it's like it's a great ability and it's super thematic, for the where she does the three arrows in the competition,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so
I
great.
know.
I love it.
I know. They do a really good job with that. Just like
Yep.
lining up the characters with their abilities, and it's like, oh my god, it makes perfect sense.
Yep. Yep. Well, so I'm also curious, just real quick before we start wrapping things up.
Hmm.
I'm curious for your content creation because you mentioned way back at the beginning you do content creation. I
Yeah.
don't want to just completely gloss over that. I do want to give you a chance to kind of talk about what it's like these days. If you've got anything that you're going to be doing in the near future with it, any place you're looking to grow with it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I am going to be hitting my 2-year anniversary of content creator since I
Nice.
created my YouTube page in a few months. So it's surreal. It's been, oh my god, I can't believe it. I was a way different person back then, but as a player, just personality wise, content creator personality, just you get more comfortable doing it, right? Like you get more comfortable,
Hmm.
you start expressing yourself more. When you start, you're kind of like just like in a shell, kind of worried about what people are gonna think. You compare yourself to other content creators, and you're like, oh, man, I suck. Like this isn't even great. But once you start getting the reps in, once you start getting comfortable, people that really line up with who you are, right? People that enjoy your
Hmm.
content, enjoy watching you because of your personality. You start building a community, and that's been my number one goal ever since I started, right? Like building the community. And I think I'm at a place where I'm really happy with the people that are around me, right? When I hop on my live streams, that is my main thing. I like to live stream games. I like to chit chat
Hmm.
with my people that come into my live stream, and chat. I really like to connect with them. I don't like to just hop on, play, do my thing, and ignore the chat. Like that's why I'm on there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and recently I did something called the Ruby Redemption arc, which was for 4 weeks. I had the community choose a color pairing with Ruby, and they chose Ruby Amber. So I said, okay, we're gonna play Ruby Amber for the next 4 weeks. You're gonna help me build the deck. Every time we're gonna change the deck, and we're gonna figure out and find the perfect list and get really good at it and play at set champs and see if we can top
Nice.
And we did. We topped at 2 events. We got 2 tops with the
Awesome.
Ruby Amber deck. That was really fun. That was a really fun challenge. But for now, I'm going to just keep creating content, keep building spicy decks, just how everyone loves to see the decks and to see them in action. Something different from like the typical meta decks, because everyone sees those. Everyone knows how they go and what they do, but got to get some spicy stuff out there. And I do have, I don't know if I can plug this right now, but a guide. I do have a guide. Yeah, I can play. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
recently did a recap covering my deck, and I also recently created a guide for my members only on YouTube. So this guide, I go in depth in every single card of the deck. I go in depth with the mulligan decisions against specific matchups. So I'm able to like cover more details about the deck, how to play the deck, how to prepare for different matchups. So if you guys are interested in becoming a member, it's included. It doesn't matter the tier, but go to my YouTube. I don't know if we can plug it below or like do a collab thing.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, go to my
absolutely.
YouTube and you can find it there. But yeah, if it brings a lot of, if these kind of things bring a lot of value to you, then yeah, why not?
Yeah, I love all the content that you put out. As somebody who is still, I play competitive, but not like competitively, still
Yeah,
trying to grow,
yeah,
still trying to practice and everything. It's really cool to see, like you said, especially the kind of the different perspectives and different decks. Because there's a lot of content out there that covers the main, these meta decks are going to win set champs. And,
hmm
it's like, okay, that's cool, but I want to see something fun, something interesting that
yeah.
I maybe haven't experienced before.
hmm
So,
And that's the beauty of going to set champs and taking a
mhm.
fun deck. You can win, you can do well, you can top with a fun deck. Like
Yep.
I've taken a blue yellow Mufasa deck to set champs and topped. Like you can take a fun deck and still do well because it's going to be a lot of local people. It's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
casual, some competitive, of course, but there's a lot of casual players. So always a chance. And if you don't top, it's fine, right? I mean,
Yeah.
as long as you
Yeah.
think it's fine, as long as you guys think it's fine, if you're okay with just taking a fun deck, playing and enjoying, then and if you don't top and you're okay with that, then awesome, fantastic, right? Like
Yep.
just whatever's important to you guys, right? Whatever's important to you guys. If you want to just have
Yep.
fun, play the deck you enjoy, then you know, run it, go for it.
So I was actually about to ask, do you have one piece of advice for people, wanting to get more competitive? But it sounds like you might have kind of just answered it. But if you have any other
Mm.
suggestions, somebody who does want to grow, maybe from a more casual player to a more competitive player. As somebody
Yeah.
who has now topped a major event, I feel like you're definitely qualified to answer that kind of question.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah. So one, I do have to. It's a hard one to like answer clearly, but I will say this: work on. I would start with you. Sleep well, hydrate, because if you sleep well, you will think better, you will make better decisions, you will be able to perform better. If you hydrate, same. If there's more water in your body, your brain will function better and your overall body would function better. That is like the base. That is the base. That definitely something I would recommend for you guys. And if it's not accessible, then it's just it is what it is, and then just roll with the whole deck playing, getting better as a player. When you play, be very mindful of what you're doing when you're playing. Be mindful of why you lost. If you're playing with a friend, if there's a scenario that didn't go well or you fumbled, ask your opponent, like, what could I have done better? Like, can we replay this? If you're playing casually, of course. Or
Yeah.
even if you, after the round is over, maybe you can ask them how you could have done, what you could have done better. Practice with people that are better than you, right? Practice that are people that have
Mhm.
maybe more experience or that you see doing well. And that's the whole skill component. The deck part, choosing a deck, playing a deck, if you connect with the specific color combo, then you can always start with what is the best build for that color combo. Like, what is the best color, and do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy
Mhm.
it? Cool. Go with the color combo. Do you enjoy everything about it? Yes, then run the deck, get really good at it. But if no, add your own spice to it. Add
Yeah.
whatever. If you like a character, throw a few copies in there. Just it makes it special. It makes the deck special. It's not just any cookie cutter deck that you copy and paste it off of Dreamborn. Like
Mhm.
you took a deck, a base of the deck, you know, the staple cards, and you sprinkled your own spice in there. You made it your thing, and that's something that you can be really proud of. And if you're proud of your deck, and if you trust yourself and your deck, then you're going to grow. You're definitely going to grow as a player and as a deck builder.
Yep, totally agree. It's amazing how much making that right connection with the the ink pairings is such a huge part of playing these decks. Because everybody has after a while everybody has their preference. It may not start that way, but
Yeah.
a lot of people just
Mhm.
feel more drawn to certain inks and like the way that it plays, like the
Yeah.
reason, Sapphire's got
Mhm.
tons of ramp, and some people love
Mhm.
that because then they can play these big, powerful cards,
Yeah.
but some people are like, oh, that's too slow. I don't really like
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
So,
What's
but yeah.
yours? Like what do you like? What's your color pairing?
Right now, Amethyst Emerald, I think. It's kind of fun. It's a little
Yeah.
zippy. It
Which
kind of
one?
does
The
some
fast
fun
one.
things. The Inkcaster one.
Oh yeah, that
That
one's
was the
scary.
enigmatic Inkcaster, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's super
Yeah.
fun. I mean, it's not going to stand up to like some of the big decks, but it's a blast
Mhm.
to play. Just kind of just boom, 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 get them
It's
out
so
there, and
fast. Yeah, when I was
yeah,
playing Ruby Amber, it didn't matter if I was play or draw. I faced that deck, I lost. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so fast. Like if your
yeah,
deck doesn't have a way to counter all the little characters just questing and exerting the item, and they're just cooked. You're cooked. Like what do you do
yeah,
about it? Yeah,
yeah,
that's a very crazy deck. It's a very strong deck.
yeah.
And it's
It's
like
fun.
what's the mulligan like for that deck? Like what do you keep? Do you look for the Inkcaster and the Chromicon? Like is that the key
Um,
part?
Yeah, usually, I'd
Yeah.
if at the very least the Inkcaster. The
Yeah.
Chromacon can always kind of come later. That's kind of an
Mm,
add-on of, it's cool if they start bumping my characters, then it has, some other repercussion besides
yeah.
just, taking a little bit of damage or something.
Hmm.
But definitely not a requirement for the opening hand. You
Mm.
want that decent curve, and you can have a couple of one drops and just stick with that, and
And you're
then
good.
hope for the rest, because there's so many little characters. Chances that you're going to get something that's a 2 or a 3 in your first couple of draws is pretty high. So,
Mm. Hmm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, always good to
It's
have a
wild.
couple of those
It's
little
wild.
one drops around. So, but
Hmm.
it's fun. I've enjoyed it, and I hope that I haven't really looked at it to see if it can be updated potentially for the stuff in Wilds Unknown,
Hmm.
or if anybody's. I mean, I'm sure somebody's made modifications to it, um, but yeah, it's been fun to play. So,
Yeah. Nice. I do.
but yeah.
I don't know what set this is, but I remember seeing a green two quester that has the Flynn Rider ability. When you challenge into it, you discard a card. It's a 2/1, I believe. I think it's a two
Um,
cost. Is it a two cost?
I don't know if I remember that one.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
Let's see.
Anyways, I remember seeing it somewhere, but it might be a good add-on, right?
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, hey, Alvin, thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. I appreciate it. It's great to get to talk to you again, and you get to reconnect and everything. Congratulations, of course. I know I've
Thank
said it, I
you.
think, like 3 or 4 times now, but
Thank you. I'll take it, man. I'll take
congratulations on
all
it.
of them.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah,
I
of
really
course.
do.
Of
I really
course.
do.
It's no small feat to go through, that many rounds on and compressed into 2 days and still, just play just like it's any other game for the finals. It's like, yeah, we're good. We got this. So,
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I know. Man, I still can't believe it. Like going into it, my I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, only first place before going into it. Only first place gets the invite. She's like, that's not too hard, is it? I'm like, we did the math.
Yeah.
And it's easier. It's easier to get a DLC top 16 top 16 nationals invite than it is to win an ice CCQ. I was like, oh my God. We did it
Really?
before go. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. I was like, my
Oh, wow.
odds are so low, but let's go. Let's just go.
Hey,
And you know what's
and you
funny?
pulled it off.
Yeah, you know it's not funny, but I almost didn't go because I didn't want to because we've been training pretty hard for have you heard of High Rocks?
Mm-mm.
No, it's this big competitive fitness event where you run a kilometer, then you do certain exercise like it starts with the ski machine for 1,000
Right.
meters. Takes about like 5 minutes to complete, and then you do another kilometer, then another exercise, then another, you keep doing it for 10 rounds. So it's 10 runs and 10 different exercises, and that's it. That you finish, cross the finish line. So we've been training for that, and I was like, we're gonna miss, because we work out on the weekends. On Sunday mornings we do it. I was thinking, we're gonna miss that, and we're gonna drive all the way out there. We have to take our own food. It seems like a lot of work, and I was this close to canceling. I was really close to canceling. I was like, you know what? Maybe we just don't. But I got
Aren't you
excited.
glad you didn't? Yeah.
I got excited because I had changed into that deck last minute, and I really liked it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. But I'm glad I didn't, and such a blessing. Like, oh my God, like I'm just so happy with how the weekend turned out, and I'm happy I got to chat with you. Like, thank you for
thank you.
providing this space for me to talk about my experience, and I love your questions. Your questions were like amazing. Your questions were very thoughtful questions. So thank you for putting that time into it.
Of course, yeah. Well, let's finish it off with, I guess, one of the usual questions. Tell everybody where they can find you, your content, and look forward to seeing you at Nationals.
All right. Thank you. So you can find me on all platforms: Instagram, X, Discord, YouTube, Twitch. They're all under Lore Games. So everything's under Lore Games. I am most active on YouTube. So please make sure to connect on YouTube. If you're like, that's too many things, let me just choose one. YouTube's the one. That's where I communicate with everyone, and that's where I started building my community. So I try to at least keep everyone updated, make sure to post at least once a week. And yeah, if you enjoy that type of content, if you enjoy spicy gameplay, definitely give me a follow.
Nice. Yes, I can highly recommend it. I definitely enjoy it, catching it when I can. There's so much content these days. Oh my gosh.
There is.
So, all right. Well, cool. Well, thanks, Alvin, again. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you around the community.
All right. Thank you, Chris, again for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Well, I loved getting to reconnect with Alvin and talk about his ECC win and that super strong Amber Steel song deck. If you like the show, make sure you like, subscribe, and rate the show on your platform of choice. If you'd like to reach out to the show, you can find us on all the socials at Inkwell Lounge, or you can find a full list of links over at inkwelllounge.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.